For decades, the Mohir elves, exiled from Finan Mir, have roamed Io in search of a new home. In Nortander, they were promised lands of their own, but as the Mage Rebellion arose, they were quickly forgotten. Now, years later, they have taken shelter in a nomadic settlement in Leafshade, a dense, dangerous jungle amidst the no-man's land between Utran and Wulfgar.
All right. The Mohir settlement should be a little further to the north.
How long have the Mohir been living here?
Well, they left Finan Mir about 30 years ago, and they were sent to settle here 8 years after their arrival. So that's 22 years now.
Pretty long, considering Leafshade was just meant to be a stopover.
I'm sure they feel the same way. But then again, I understand why finding a new home for fugitive elves wasn't on top of the Crown's priority list after the Mage Wars broke out.
All right then, what's the plan?
Well, I suggest we try to find their settlement first and then talk to their scryers. They're the ones who make the decisions.
Good. Then lead the way.
Just give the word.
This looks like a beaten path. I think it should take us to the village.
Fair enough. Let's do this.
That's all? I'm only getting started.
Sure.
Sure.
Will do. Uh-huh.
Here we
Walking
go.
corpses. Take them down.
Tiara's breath. What was that?
No idea. That man looked completely mad, as if something had eaten away his mind.
I understand.
Whatever's necessary.
Easy.
That way. All right.
Ah!
All right, here goes nothing.
Understood.
Sure.
A traveler. Don't get many in these parts. What do you want? If you're looking for shelter, you've come to the wrong place.
Who are you people? This is Elven territory, isn't it?
Huh. Elven territory, my arse. Just because the Moor here were allowed to put up their little town here doesn't mean they own the whole jungle. As for who we are, if you don't know, then you probably don't have any business here.
Can you let us in?
As I said, no. This isn't a roadside inn. Now, sod off.
Never mind. We'll be off.
Travelers, huh? Well, if you're looking for shelter, you've come to the wrong place.
Fine.
Got it. I understand.
Huh. A traveler. Don't get many in these parts. What do you want? If you're looking for shelter, you've come to the wrong place.
Never mind. We'll be off.
Sure. That way. All right.
Get ready!
Leave it to me. Finally. Really?
We'll make short work of them.
Look at that, boys.
You asked for this.
some fun. If your life depends on it.
Sounds like a plan.
Fine.
Got it.
Uh-huh.
Huh. Sure.
Finally. Fine.
All right, here goes nothing.
You'll regret this. Got it. I understand.
Understood.
You got it.
Uh-huh.
That way. All right. You picked the wrong enemies.
Will do.
Really?
Interesting.
That way? Sure.
More of them. This place is a bloody graveyard.
Fine.
Huh. Interesting. Fair enough. Let's do this.
Sure.
If your life depends on it.
Interesting.
I understand.
Sounds like a plan.
Got it.
That way. All
You
right.
got it.
They will burn.
Oh, you're serious about this, aren't you? Fine.
Understood.
That way?
Rah! You picked the wrong enemies.
Is that all? Uh-huh.
Sure.
Sure. We'll make short work of them. Got it. That way. All right.
That way?
Understood. Got it.
Oh,
Fine.
sure.
I need help over here.
Sure.
Let me see. You got it.
Now would you look at that?
Sounds like a plan.
You read my mind.
What? That's all?
Oh, you're serious
I'm only
about
getting
it.
started.
Fine.
Blazes! Help me, somebody!
They killed one of our heroes!
Don't die on me, will you? We need you.
Shit. Help me for heck's sake!
They killed one of our heroes!
Help me, somebody!
Now, don't die on me, will you? We need you. Here we go.
They will fall.
Will do.
Child's play.
That way?
Finally.
Sure.
They will burn.
You'll regret this. Really? Fine. Will do.
You got it.
Uh-huh.
I understand.
Sure.
Sure. Sure.
Is this the village?
Should be. And don't ask me why there's no one guarding the entrance.
Let's take a look around.
I'll take a look.
Fine.
A reverend, aren't you? It's been a while since we got visitors. If you don't count those soldiers, that is.
Long story. In short, we're looking for your leaders to discuss a potential alliance.
A lofty goal. Are you sure you came to the right place, though? To us, the Moor here.
Why wouldn't I?
I just thought the Finnanmere with their treants and gilded armors would have been a better option. We are renegades. Outcast. But I suppose your pure-blood friend told you as much already.
I'm not as pure blood as you think.
Be that as it may, best you talk to Finrior and Merilith, the first and second Scryer. Maybe they'll listen to you once they're done bickering.
Finally.
Can't believe we're still having this discussion. Tell me, Arlen, where was Ellen in all those years when our people were on the run? Just face it, she never helped us. None of the Guardians did.
Well, maybe they would have if it weren't for heretics like you. We are Ellen's children, all of us.
We are the children of our mothers and our fathers, for heck's sake. If you are so pious, then why did you leave Finn and Mir in the first place? What we need is rationality and reason, not praying to the gods that have left us.
Heresy, Varden. This is heresy.
Another human? Well, isn't that great?
We're just...
No, say no more. I know why you're here. Looking for some nice elven kin to enhance your bloodline, aren't you?
What?
Yes, that's what I thought. Well, why don't you join your fellow crossbreeders in the Wolfgar lands? There you can copulate all you want. Now sod off.
Really? If your life depends on it. Axes, daggers, swords, everything for the wary traveler. A fair offer.
Huh? What is it? Who are you?
Just a traveler. Don't mind me.
Huh? An Evran? What are you doing here?
What are these two arguing about?
I don't see why that concerns you. How did you get in here anyway? Get lost.
What? Who are you? Who let you in?
The gate was unguarded.
Really? Next thing you know, this place is being overrun by undead because the guards have all gathered to hear us bicker. You're from Gravefell, aren't you? I recognize that accent. I'm Arlen Finriar, first scryer of this settlement. What do you want?
I'm looking for allies, but let me start from the beginning.
Ah, so you're Isamo Taha's child. Well, you're lucky, I believe, that the Guardians have given us all a free will. I can see that you're nothing like your father, and it's true that the bloodburn has to be ended. I can agree with those crazy cultists on that much.
So you're going to help us?
I would if I could, but as you may have gathered by now, we have our own battle to fight here. Ellen has cursed us.
Who is the other elf? The one you were arguing with?
A misguided fool. And sadly one with a very influential father, who made him the second scryer of this township.
Does this town have a name?
It does. Lathwain, which roughly translates as respite.
Respite? Sounds kind of temporary.
Well, it is. I don't know how familiar you are with our history, but after the Finnenmere exiled us, we were promised lands by the Queen. Then the Mage Wars came, and understandably our promised home wasn't of importance anymore.
That incident in Leonon won't make the Lord Marshal more sympathetic to your cause. You broke the White Mist Treaty.
Yes, and it was a horrible mistake. But the people were scared, particularly because Merilith did an excellent job at instilling fear and telling them that our little problem could be fixed by sending a group of scholars into Northander territory. And what good did it do? Nothing. You'd think that this failure would have shown the Moria how incapable Merilith is as a leader, but sadly, it didn't.
This looks like a nice enough place, though.
Well, save for the undead roaming through the forests and attacking us each night, yes.
I see. So Leafshade is only a stopover?
Yes. We will find our true home someday. I'm sure of that.
Ellen has cursed you?
Yes. Our lands are withering, and every 1 in 10 elves loses his mind. Their eyes turn black, they salivate like animals, and attack everything in sight.
And you think Ellen has inflicted this curse upon you?
I know. You see, since we Moria left Finnanmere, more and more of our people have fallen away from our faith. Some even blame the Guardians for our exile. Briefly put, we were cast out of the Finnanmere Empire after we expressed doubts about the Elven Council.
Yes, I know the story.
As you can imagine, the years we spent on the road searching for a new home were strenuous. And as a result of that, more and more of our people lost faith in the Guardians, which is ironic, since our faith was one of the reasons we were cast out in the first place.
Well, you can't deny that the Guardians have become weaker.
That is true. But have you ever wondered why?
I guess you have?
Yes, indeed. They have withdrawn from this world because people have stopped believing. It has always been our belief, our unwavering faith, that had made them strong. Without it, there simply is no reason for them to care anymore.
You're assuming the Guardians behave like little children. Take away their sweets and they run off crying or start throwing tantrums.
It's not that simple. But I doubt this is the right time for a theological discussion.
Probably not.
And what does all this have to do with the corruption?
Isn't it obvious? It's Ellen's punishment for us turning our backs on her.
You mean...
Yes. Ellen has protected our kind for millennia. And now, we have betrayed her. This is her punishment.
Isn't it more likely that this is simply the way elves react to the bloodburn?
No. Although rare, there have been cases of bloodburn among the Moria too. And they display exactly the same symptoms as humans. Varden Merilith simply likes to ignore that because it doesn't fit into his nice little theory. Also, why does it only occur in Leafshade and only outside the city walls? The plague doesn't know borders.
If you're the first scryer, why do you need Merilith's approval?
Because that's how the Moria law demands it. The Council has to come to a mutual agreement, otherwise we cannot take action.
What do the other scryers think about that? How many are there?
4. 2 of them are with me, 2 with Merilith. You see the problem.
If it is a curse by Ellen, how can it be cured?
Of course. Despite all we have done, Ellen still considers us her children. What she wants is for us to remember her, to return to our true faith. In other words, it is a trial. All we need to do is to trust in Ellen's guidance. Then we will find a way to lift the curse.
If we help you lift this curse, would you be willing to ally yourselves with us?
Well, the bloodburn is a scourge for all races, so, yes. Should you help us, I could take up the matter with the other scryers. But let me think about it first, will you? This isn't something I can decide on the spot.
Oh, great. Now you've fed them the same nonsense. Well done, Finrior. Well done. If there's any way we'll never reach a conclusion, it's by further spreading your "the Guardians have punished us" rubbish.
It's not rubbish. Blasted Varden. If it weren't for Ellen, we wouldn't even be here. I can't even believe we're still having this childish conversation. We should be out there, finding a solution, praying to Ellen for her forgiveness.
Yes, that would help, wouldn't it?
We should probably talk to the other scryer, too.
Interesting.
Salangar. A pure blood. Just when I thought this day couldn't get any better.
Not what I'd call myself. I haven't been in Finnanmere for 8 years.
Is that so? Well, who am I to judge? Who let you in?
There weren't any guards.
What? Great. Just great. This is getting better and better. But please, forgive my manners. I'm Varden Merilith, second scryer of Lathwain. Who are you? And what do you want? Are you with the soldiers?
Soldiers?
The army folk. But if you have to ask, I suppose you're on your own. Tell me then, what brings you here?
That's a long story.
So you're the corporal from Lianon? Well, that's a surprise. I know the story, and once more I would like to apologize for what Scryer Elion did. She should not have opened fire. Also, I know about what happened to you afterwards. How the other soldier tried to frame you. I am honestly surprised you are still alive. The Royal Army isn't known for their leniency. Either way, your story sounds bizarre, but I don't think you are lying. And after the events in Lianon, it's only fair if we help you now. To make up for it. Not to mention the fact that the bloodburn needs to be stopped.
So you'll provide us with troops?
It's not that simple. I have to bring up the matter before the other scryers, and they all have to agree. But not now. We currently have our own sack of problems to deal with.
Are you the leader of this place?
One of them, yes. I'm the second scryer, and the Moorhere Council is made up of 6 scryers in total. 7, actually, but our eldest passed away recently, which complicates the decision-making, as you can imagine.
What problems do you have?
The short version? Leafshade has been struck by the bloodburn. Elves and animals are affected, and for some reason it has a different effect on us than it has on your race. It corrupts us.
Corrupts?
Drives us mad. And if that weren't enough, the Council can't decide on a course of action. Pathetic, isn't it? People are dying, but all we do is bicker.
How many of you are affected?
Not as many as in your kind. 1 in 10, maybe. And for some reason, the infection only spreads outside the city borders.
We were attacked by an old elf near the village. He seemed to have gone mad. Was that this corruption?
If he had been drooling like a rabid animal and his skin had been covered in blisters full of pus, then yes. You said he was old.
Yes.
Then it might have been old Ravel. He went out hunting a week ago and never returned. Blazes. What a mess.
Where do you and Finrior disagree?
Oh, that's simple. Finrior claims that the corruption has nothing to do with the bloodburn, but is a curse of the Guardians. Of Ellen, to be precise.
The Guardians aren't children throwing tantrums.
Yes. And in these days, I doubt they could even if they wanted to. The Guardians are gone. This is a fact we have to deal with.
So where do you think this corruption comes from?
As I said, I think it's just how we elves react to the bloodburn.
As I said, I'm trying to find a cure for the bloodburn. Maybe I might be able to help.
You want this alliance to happen as quick as possible, don't you? Well, yes, maybe your knowledge about the bloodburn could indeed help us. Give me a moment to think this through, will you? There are some things I need to consider.
All right.
Varden, please, would you mind leaving these travelers alone with your obscure theories?
Yes, sure, Arlen. Just keep on acting as if the bloodburn isn't a threat. Blazes, wake up! We need to face the facts or we will go down. It's as simple as that.
Facts? There aren't any facts. There's no evidence that the bloodburn is related to this at all.
Is that so? And what about your Guardian theory?
Now what?
Well, if there's any way to get their support, it's by helping them cure this corruption.
We need to try. I suggest we ally ourselves with Merilith. The other one seems to have lost the support of his people already.
Then let's let them know.
Where was your beloved Ellen when they drove us out of whatever village we seek shelter in? The Guardians are gone, Arlen. Just admit it already. Maybe it's about time the Moorhere started relying on reason rather than superstition.
Watch your tongue, boy. I was already a scryer when you were still sucking on your mother's teat.
That's your argument?
Yes. I'm tired of seeing you spit on our traditions, spit on everything that has made our culture into what it once was. Just look at where we stand, Varden. We're refugees in a makeshift town in a bloody rainforest. And we're dying for heck's sake. We're pathetic. But instead of facing the truth, we've turned our backs on the only one who still cares for us, Ellen. All right, this is pointless. Does your offer still stand? An outsider who isn't dependent on the Council's approval might be just what we need.
Isn't it more likely that this is simply the way elves react to the bloodburn?
No. Although rare, there have been cases of bloodburn among the Moria too, and they display exactly the same symptoms as humans. Varden Merilith simply likes to ignore that because it doesn't fit into his nice little theory. Also, why does it only occur in Leafshade, and only outside the city walls? The plague doesn't know borders.
If you're the first scryer, why do you need Merilith's approval?
Because that's how the Moria law demands it. The Council has to come to a mutual agreement, otherwise we cannot take action.
What do the other scryers think about that? How many are there?
4. 2 of them are with me, 2 with Merilith. You see the problem.
If it is a curse by Ellen, how can it be cured?
Of course. Despite all we have done, Ellen still considers us her children. What she wants is for us to remember her, to return to our true faith. In other words, it is a trial. All we need to do is to trust in Ellen's guidance. Then we will find a way to lift the curse.
I'm happy to assist.
You have no idea how good it is to hear you say that. Come, let's talk somewhere else. I've had enough shouting for today.
Mm-hmm.
That's better. Ellen's reigns. Isn't it incredible how this fool is unwilling to see reason?
Well, from his point of view, you're the one being stubborn. He seems to think you're unwilling to see the facts.
I am seeing the facts. This isn't the first time the Guardians have lain a curse on us. Either way, all the better you're here. Let's discuss how we proceed. What we need above all is proof to convince Merilith. As long as he insists on brewing away that curse with just enough alchemy, we cannot take any real action.
What kind of proof did you have in mind?
That remains to be seen. First of all, scout Leafshade's surroundings. The curse seems to limit itself to the outskirts of our town. I will mark the place on your map where the activity has been most extreme. Secondly, there's a human military outpost nearby. To investigate, you'll need to ask for permission to cross their borders. After the disaster in Leonon, the last thing we want is another breach of our treaty.
Who are those humans?
Veterans, as far as I know. So far, our contact has been sparse, but they seem to be peaceful.
If the jungle is corrupted, isn't it dangerous for us to scout it?
No. The infection doesn't happen instantaneously. If you were to stay longer, say 2 or 3 days, it might get you. But for now, you're safe.
Very comforting.
If it really is a curse, how are you planning to lift it from Leafshade?
I've asked myself the same question. But then I realize there's no point in worrying about it as long as that young fool is sabotaging our attempts to stop it.
All right. Got it. We'll do our best.
Yes. And thank you. Never mind. Just do your best.
Neolf's hammer. I was beginning to think these discussions were never going to end.
No argument there. Let's go talk to the soldiers and see if they let us into their territory to find that proof.
Yes.
Let's see.
Huh. A traveler. Don't get many in these parts. What do you want? If you're looking for shelter, you've come to the wrong place.
Can you let us in?
As I said, no. This isn't a roadside inn. Now, sod off.
Wait, not so fast. The Moir sent us. It's important.
The Moor here, huh? All right, fine. Come in, but make it quick. We already have visitors, and they aren't too fond of your employers.
Don't you think these soldiers will recognize you?
I doubt it. Even if they know General Noria is looking for me, they wouldn't know my face.
You should rethink your position, old man. The light doesn't show mercy on those who betray it.
Well, maybe the light can show you the way out of my bloody camp instead.
You don't know who you're messing with.
Oh, I think I do. I'm messing with a bunch of renegade cutthroats who think they can walk into a camp of the Royal Army and make demands just because their lunatic leader told you so. So, one more time for the slow ones among us. We won't attack those elves. On the contrary, if you do as much as lay a finger on them, you'll have to deal with us too. Are we clear? Are we clear?
Yes.
Huh.
What? Wait a moment. You? Gilbert Vilmas, 2nd Division Everlight Infantry, isn't it? Blazes. What are you doing here?
I think you're mistaking me for someone else. I'm not with the army.
Oh, am I? Could have sworn. Oh, well, never mind. Who are you then? And how the heck did you get in here?
The guard let me in. My name is Tahar, and I'm with the Moir from Lithuania. There's something we need to discuss.
Tahar? Like that sodding rebel mage bastard? Boy, I surely don't envy your name. Forentus Copper, 2nd rank sergeant to the Royal Army. So, what news do you bring from our elven friends?
Well, I assume you've taken note of this strange plague going on in Leafshade. The elves have sent me to investigate it, and are asking for permission to cross borders.
Granted.
Just like that?
What should I say? We need this plague gone as much as the more here. We've stayed away from the corrupted parts, aye, but we've nonetheless lost 3 men already. Just don't do anything unwise, and you can walk freely within our sectors. One more thing, though. There is something that we need done, and I don't have any men to spare at the moment. Would you be willing to help us as a sign of goodwill?
You seem to be rather relaxed concerning the corruption. How come?
Relaxed isn't the right word, but unlike that bloodburn plague, this one is predictable. Since we've stayed away from the jungle and within our walls, we've had no new infections. And unlike the Moor here, we're not permanent settlers in this place.
So you don't think the bloodburn has anything to do with it?
With the corruption? No, I doubt it. I mean, I'm not a healer, but the symptoms are very different.
Of course. What do you need?
Well, it's simple. Since we made camp here, some of my men and women have contracted a nasty kind of fever. We ordered a shipment of herbs from another outpost in the Utran lands, but it hasn't arrived, and the man I sent to get it has not been heard of ever since. Would you be willing to search the shore for my scout, or maybe the ship itself? The weather's been rough lately, and maybe it was wrecked.
Sure. Any idea where we should search?
Aye. Do you have a map? Here. That's where we were supposed to receive the shipment.
Got it. Thank you.
Are you sure we have time for this, Tahar?
It never hurts to have additional allies.
One more thing. Who sent you? I mean, who of the Scryers?
Arlen Finrir. Why? Is that important?
No, just personal interest. Arlen and I are old acquaintances. He's a good man and a follower of the old faith. Don't have many these days. If you want, I'll send some of my men along to support you. They know the jungle, and they know how to wield a sword. What do you think?
That would be great.
Good. I'll let the sergeant know. Tell Arlen Forentus says hello, will you?
Oi, you. Wait a moment.
Me?
No. The Queen's golden tits. Of course you. Say, does the name Bertrand Carpel ring a bell for you?
Why? What do you know about Bertrand?
Not much. Only that he came by our camp just this morning and told me he was looking for someone. And the face he described looked just like yours. Anyway, I told him I had no bloody idea what he was on about. So he left. But asked me to leave a message if you should come by. Which heck knows why you did.
What's the message?
Just that he's up north somewhere, here in Leafshade, and that he'll be waiting there for you until dusk.
How did he know I'd come?
Well, best you ask him that yourself, will you? I've got a shift to take care of.
This is ridiculous.
got it.
Huh. And who exactly are you?
Just a traveler. I'm working for the Moor here.
Ah, I see. Best you talk to Sergeant Copper, then.
Why put up an outpost in the middle of the jungle?
Pardon my tongue, but that's none of your business.
Who are those mercenaries in your camp? They don't look like Nortander soldiers.
Well observed. They are Bane, you know, purity fanatics. And no, I have no fucking clue why Sergeant Copper let them in the first place.
All right. I'll be off. Thank you for your help.
Sure.
Now would you look at that?
Huh?
Who are you people? Nortander soldiers?
Aye, sure. We're humble servants of the Queen. Look, friend, I know what you are. A defiler. And if we weren't in the camp of that fucking coward right now, this conversation would go down a tad differently. So do yourself a favor and sod off before things change. 'Cause they will.
I think these are Bane. Purity fanatics. The ones Clara warned us about.
I heard that.
If you're not soldiers, what are you doing in this camp?
Business.
I'll leave you be.
Where to? Fine.
Well, that went better than expected.
Attack!
No! Let's do this. All right, here goes nothing.
What the? What are you doing?
Is that all? Is that all?
I hope you have a good explanation for this.
I do. I'm Iana. I and those 5 men were hired to kill you.
Who are you working for? How did you know we'd be here?
You weren't as hard to follow as you think, Tahar. And regarding your first question, Amaria Leonider.
The head of House Leonider? But why?
Well, I hate to say it, but there are a lot of people who want you dead, Tahar. The question should be, why her? And I'm afraid I don't have an answer for that. I'm not paid to ask questions.
You're assassins.
We are.
Sorry, but I don't understand. Why did you help us?
I'm afraid that's complicated. Do you prefer the short or the long version?
Give me the long version.
All right. I didn't know much about you when I accepted the contract, save for the fact that you were a renegade soldier, and that you, together with an elf named Iria, escaped the Grey Keep prison somehow.
That would be me.
I thought so. Well, we followed your trail until Farland's Hope, where you entered that cave, wherever it leads. Since we couldn't follow you in there, we waited in the village. Well, and it was there I learned that you were after a cure for the bloodburn.
And that made you change your mind?
Yes. To be frank, I lost someone to the bloodburn. Someone very close to me. And even though nothing is going to bring her back, I want an answer. In other words, I want to offer you my services.
That guard who sent us here, he mentioned a friend of mine, Bertrand. Did you...
Harm him? No. I don't even know who or where he is. Leonider gave us that name and told us it would be a good lure. So we paid that guard a handful of coins to tell you his story. That's it.
That friend you lost, who was it? How did she die?
I would rather not talk about it. Not here. Not now.
And just why should we trust you? You're a sellsword.
I can't tell you what to do or feel. But think of it this way. If I had wanted you dead, why would I risk my life to save you? Furthermore, word that the assassination failed will get around soon enough. And mark me a betrayer among my kind. Even if I decided to murder you in your sleep, I would not get any money from it.
She has a point.
I do.
How can you help us?
Well, judging from the trail of blood you left behind, this won't be your last battle. I can make sure they'll end in your favor. Also, I am... how should I put it? Different. I can feel and see things others can't.
Such as?
Such as the fact that you are running from something. I do not know what it is, but I can sense it. There's something in the idea of home that scares you.
That's a pretty wild guess.
Maybe. Only you can know this. Long story short, I'm a dreamweaver.
A dreamweaver? I've heard that before. So you're some kind of mentalist?
Close. Let it suffice to say that I feel and perceive differently than most people. In every aspect.
Fair enough. Join us, if you must. We need all the support we can get.
Thank you. I'll make it quick. Is there anything you need?
Yes. Huh. Interesting.